Time now for the Educated Retirement Show with your host, Jay Kaplan. Jay discusses reverse mortgages and can answer your questions at 951-922-3532. Call lines are open at 951-922-3532. And now here's Jay.
I always get hyped up when I hear Sean. What a great, he's really got a good announcing voice. So Sean, thank you for that, even though you were born with it tough. But welcome back to the Educated Retirement Show here on 1490 KMET. This is our New Year's Eve show. And again, before I say anything else, I'm going to say have a great and prosperous 2022. That goes for everybody and for all of us too. So let's try to have the best possible year we can. And I know we look back at the last couple of years and there's been some pitfalls in those last couple of years, but you know, most of us made it through. So let's keep on chugging. It's up to each and every one of us to make it a great year. So we are in this together. So let's get back with some time, a little bit of time we have here on, we were talking about famous birthdays, and Steve Allen, he's the next one. It was today, right? So Steve Allen, actually it was a couple days ago, and he passed away in 2000, and there may be some youngins out there that don't remember Steve Allen, but I got a feeling most people do. There he is having fun. And I might as well just show them all. We'll get them out of the way here. And here he is with Elvis. Okay, and Sean, you may be interested in this, and I can send it to you if you want. We watched yesterday, NASA Nelly sent me a video of, and here's a kind of an out of focus picture of it. This is Frank Zappa playing the bicycles on Steve Allen's show, and it is hilarious. Anyway, I am a Frank Zappa fan. I just bought 200 motels. I think we talked about that a week or so ago. And, I showed that when Grandpa and Daryl was on. But this is, you can look for it on YouTube or whatever. Amazing. And this picture, it's a little small, but I really like this picture. All right, there he be. And do I have him on any records? Probably do, but didn't have. And there he is with Sammy Davis Jr. And so he was born Stephen Valentine Patrick William Allen. Boy, that's a mouthful. An American television and radio personality, composer, musician, and what else? Comedian and writer. In 1954, he achieved national fame as the co-creator and first host of The Tonight Show. I know he had the show, but I didn't know he was a co-creator of that until we started looking into all of this. So that was the first late-night television talk show. Though he got his start in radio, he's best known for his extensive network television career. And after he hosted The Tonight Show, he went on with his own program, The Steve Allen Show. He was a pianist and composer, wrote more than 8,500 songs. Holy moly. As a lyricist, he won the 1960-something. It's missing the last number here. But sometimes in the 1960s, he won a Grammy Award for Best Original Jazz Composition. I wish I knew what that was. He also wrote more, and that's my fault that I didn't complete that, but he wrote more than 50 books, including novels and children's books. He was born in New York City. What a surprise. His parents was a husband and wife vaudeville comedy team. His father died when he was an infant, and he was raised by his mother's Irish Catholic family. Milton Berle called Allen's mother as the funniest woman in vaudeville. Well, sorry I missed that. Steve ran away from home at 16 and described in interviews the ease at which he descended into begging. And so went from begging just to the opposite. His first radio job was in Phoenix, Arizona. After leaving the university in Tempe, he enlisted in the Army and he finished his service. When he finished his service, he moved to California. He became a radio announcer, gradually became involved in talk radio, and became a television announcer for professional wrestling. All right. And then his show, The Steve Allen Show, premiered, which came after The Tonight Show. Steve Allen Show premiered on Christmas Day in 1950. Now, we got a pretty interesting feller who I always really liked. Thought of him as an outcast, but that's because his film roles made him look like that. And that's Elijah Cook Jr., who was born on the 26th of this month in 1903 and passed on in 1995. So let's look at some pictures to jolt your memory. I think, is this from The Big Sleep? I think it is. Mm-hmm. There you go. There he is with his tentative look, like somebody just beat him, but he's ready to get back, but he's down on his luck. I mean, that's the way he portrayed himself, and that's how he became famous. And there he is, startled. He looks like he was always ready to be startled at a moment's notice. And here he is a little bit later in life. And he still got that same look. Very successful fellow, lived the way he wanted to, and that was that. So Elijah Cook Jr. was an American character actor, famed for his work in film noir. Cook was born in San Francisco, the son of a pharmacist, and he grew up in Chicago. He first worked in theater lobbies, selling programs, selling them. By the age of 14, he was already performing in vaudeville. As a young man, he traveled and acted on stage along the East Coast and the Midwest before arriving in New York City, where in 1926 debuted on Broadway and continued a stage career throughout the remaining 1930s. And after serving in the Army, Cook traveled to California and settled in Hollywood and did several films for 20th Century Fox. And after The Maltese Falcon, he became typecast, which in a way was lucky for him, as a sadistic loser and hoodlum. Hoodlum. I like that word, hoodlum. Films that followed were The Big Sleep, Stanley Kubrick's The Killing, and William Castle's House on Haunted Hill. And William Castle was kind of the main star of the film we mentioned in the first hour, Matinee, was played by John Goodman. And great, wonderful film. Anyway, House on Haunted Hill, One-Eyed Jacks, Rosemary's Baby, just to name a few. He also appeared on a variety of television series such as Adventures of Superman, The Real McCoys, and The Rebel, The Fugitive, and Perry Mason. Of course, everybody was on Perry Mason. Cook was never a part of the Hollywood social scene. For some reason, I guess I'm not either. According to director John Huston, Cook lived alone up in the high Sierra and caught trout between films. Well, let him catch them, I'll eat them. When he was wanted in Hollywood, they sent word up to his mountain cabin by courier. He would come down to do a picture and then withdraw again to his retreat. Well, withdraw again, maybe he wanted to go back to his home in the mountains. Cook starred over 41 films, and here's a short list of those films. These are not slouches. The Maltese Falcon, 1941, directed by John Huston, and of course starred Humphrey Bogart, Mary Astor, Peter Lorre, film nominated for 3 Academy Awards. So here is a radio drama again. And who plays the parts on here?
I think.
Oh, the real people.
Yeah.
Huh, how do you like that? Anyway, Sam Spade. Of course, we can get into the big authors, noir authors, one in L.A., one in San Francisco, but we don't need to get into them right now. And here is a small DVD. And of course, we have a bigger set of DVDs because this film was actually made 3 times, and this one was the third one, and this one was The Charm. And as I was talking with Sean between, we had our break, Guillermo del Toro is doing Midnight, is doing, what is that?
Nightmare Alley.
Nightmare Alley, and it's going to be the third time. It's a film noir. It's going to be the third time that one's done, and that will be also a hit. So The Big Sleep, 1946, directed by Howard Hawks, starred Humphrey Bogart, Lauren Bacall, and there's a big picture. I use these laser discs, even though I don't play them that much, but they've got great pictures on them to look at. There's something to hold on to. The Killing, 1956, directed by Stanley Kubrick, starring Sterling Hayden, Vince Edwards, Marie Windsor. Now we have, and I don't have it handy, but I think those were among the first 2 films of Stanley Kubrick, both noir, Killer's Kiss or something like that, and the other one was The Killing. Very, very good film. House on Haunted Hill, 1959, was directed by our hero, William Castle, starred Vincent Price, Richard Long, and, here it is. It's kind of dark to see, but here it is on a double bill with The Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. So there's a lot of woman there. And what did we just see her in the other day? That's okay.
I'm trying to remember.
Anyway, House on Haunted Hill, William Castle had this skeleton come out of the ceiling and roll across the above the theater seats. He also put buzzers in seats, and that was all there in sound effects and things like that. And that was there in that movie Matinee. But we went to a Regal theater to see Dune, and they have a theater or 2 there that have buzzers under the seats and all. And when the wind blows, the fans turn on, the whole thing. So he was ahead of his time. Rosemary's Baby, 1968, directed by Roman Polanski. And we've got it here somewhere. And starred Mia Farrow, John Cassavetes, film nominated for 2 Academy Awards and won 1. But you know what? That was redone here. And I think this was a production of William Castle's daughters. Not exactly sure, and they're still producing. I didn't think that this was that bad, really. I thought it was pretty good. Not nearly as hokey as the first one, but the thing about the William Castle ones, hokey is really, really where it's at in today's world, right? Right.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple of honorable mentions. John Denver. Let me see, John. Oh, before I do that, let me just go back to films to start the new year with. Also, what I said about Grandpa being the best way to start your weekend, remember, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning on KMET 1490 on your dial. Grandpa would probably be the best way to start the new year. If you're up that early, depends how much celebrating you have done. So this is Svengoolie's claim to fame on
tonight or tomorrow night,
New Year's Day. Seen this so many times, but you know what? You can't see it enough sometimes. And this is John Van Cleve is even in it. So it's one of the first real monsters, and I've got this love affair with monsters. So there it is, and also roller coasters. I don't ride them, but I think they're kind of cool. Anyway, John Denver was born this day in 1943 and he earned his wings in 1997. But it was an accident because he was a pilot type person, and he loved flying, and he did a lot of his flying with uh, experimental aircraft, and that's how he passed away or passed on. But he was a big star and kind of represented country roads. So we have 1 minute left, okay? And on that 1 minute, I want to again wish absolutely everyone a great, wonderful, prosperous next year. What we're going to do now is we're going to introduce Jay Kaplan as a guest on the West Coast Business Review with Daryl McCants, also Bill Morris, and we'll talk a little bit about how to best continue to be retired, no matter how much money you may or may not have. But the most important part is to make sure that you are successful, whatever success means to you, and it can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So remember, we're all in this together, and we have next year to have a great year. And please stay safe. Be safe tonight. Be safe for the next year. Thank you so much. And again, Kaplan will be on the same corner in front of the cigar store next week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.